Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, remember the video I shared with you guys last week about the woman who went to a town hall, ended up getting manhandled and dragged out? Um, you'll remember this if you saw it last week. If not, this is just a short preview of what it was.
Yo, look, he's got that. Is he a deputy? These are deputies. Who the fuck are these men?
Hey, hey.
It's too bad that we have some 150-year-old Social Security recipients.
So, for anyone who hadn't seen that video yet, that was supposedly a Republican town hall, quote unquote, in the state of Ohio. And they refused to take questions, and they were ridiculed by audience members who disagreed with them. And when this woman rightfully yelled out, "Is this a town hall or is this a lecture?" she was ordered to leave. And then she was physically attacked by several men and literally dragged out of this venue. And these men had no badges, they had no law enforcement identification on them whatsoever. She kept yelling, demanding to know who they were, and they just refused to tell her. So, this is Trump's new America. This is where we're at, where freedom of speech is not only not allowed, but women are physically assaulted for asking a question. Well, guess what? This story took a very different turn. So, one of the people involved in this altercation has just been busted over something pretty interesting, considering all of the Republicans' talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. So, here's the deal. What I didn't show you in that last clip last week was the very beginning of how this whole thing started, the very beginning of the video. This whole thing was the whole video was pretty long, so I cut off the first part. But here's how it all got started. So check this out.
And we'll get back to hearing the legislators. Because really, you didn't come here to listen to me. I just happen to have a nice loud voice and a big microphone. And I can talk over all of you. And I could just talk for on and on and on. And look at this little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up, and now she doesn't want to suffer the consequences.
So for those on the podcast, what the video shows is there's a man in a baseball cap. He starts talking with this woman, or first he yells at her. He's like, "You out," and then he starts talking with her. He tells her she needs to get up and leave, or you're going to be physically removed. We're going to take you out of here. And then he starts tugging on her arm. He's repeatedly tugging on her arm. It looks like pretty hard to pull her out of her seat. Well, that man is the local sheriff. His name is Robert Norris. There's a few problems with what he did in this video. So, number one, he admits that he was not there in his official capacity. So at the time that he's doing this, as he's ordering her to leave, threatening her that he's going to arrest her or that he's going to shoot pepper spray at her, he was off duty. He was not in his official capacity doing all of this. Second, he ordered the other men, these other goons, to remove her, but they are not members of the police department. So he's off duty, and then he tells two other guys, and ended up there was a third one that got involved too, but two of them really were spearheading this. Two other grown-ass men manhandling her, bending her arm behind her back, literally dragging her out of this venue, and they are not with the police department. They're apparently private security guards, and they weren't wearing anything to identify themselves. That is apparently not allowed. If you are there to provide security, you have to at least have something on showing that that's who you are. And I mean, you guys saw in the video with her, they refused to say, "Oh, we're security." And she kept asking the sheriff, "Are these your deputies? Are these your deputies?" He refused to answer her. The other thing that Robert Norris did wrong is tugging on her arm, because apparently he is supposed to be disabled. Did he look disabled to you? Yeah. So before Norris moved to Nazi-filled Idaho, he worked for the Los Angeles Police Department. Well, in 2014, Morris retired with supposed physical injuries, including shoulder injuries. He was deemed to be completely disabled. And he has been collecting, you're not going to believe this, $150,000 a year, every single year, due to his quote unquote physical disabilities. Check out why this jackass is allowed to rip off the taxpayers.
So how is it possible that Robert Norris is able to get all that money in disability checks? Well, the rule says he's prohibited from working as a cop, but that rule doesn't apply to elected officials, and Norris is an elected sheriff. A statement from LA County says disability payments are approved only if an independent physician confirms the employee is permanently incapacitated and cannot perform their duty.
So, yeah, because he's an elected official, he is perfectly within his rights to still collect that $150,000 a year while still working in law enforcement and physically trying to remove a woman and yanking on her arm. Again, I ask, did he look permanently incapacitated to you? Did that man look like he should be collecting $150,000 a year for the rest of his life because of his so-called horrific permanent injuries, while still working, while still earning a paycheck in another state, doing the same thing, doing the same work? So, yeah, I guess it's not waste, fraud, and abuse when Republicans do it. And I would bet money that that Sheriff Norris is a MAGA Gestapo clown who voted for Trump. And I would also bet money that he just loves what Trump is doing right now. He probably loves that Trump is getting rid of the quote unquote criminals who came into our country and take advantage, as they put it, of our systems and, get to suck off the teat of the states and the federal government and get something for nothing. Yeah, kind of like, getting $150,000 a year paycheck for doing nothing and not being truly disabled. I bet this Norris guy thinks that Elon Musk and his Doge boy band are doing a great job. Oh, they're exposing the waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. Who is going to identify and clean up the waste, fraud, and abuse going on in the LA Police Department? Who's making sure that cops aren't taking advantage of the system there and collecting taxpayer money for injuries that don't really seem to be keeping him down and out? Don't seem to be keeping him from doing the job of law enforcement. Yeah, like I said, biggest hypocrites on the planet. It's only waste, fraud, and abuse if they don't like it. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like this video. Please share it with everyone you know so they know about the hypocrisy and disgusting behavior and true waste, fraud, and abuse in this country. Please subscribe if you have not, and if you can donate, truly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.